At 57, Keith Urban has remained one of country music's most recognized stars for decades. Despite his global success, he has always guarded his private life. His marriage to Nicole Kidman was often described as one of Hollywood's most admired yet private relationships. While fans and media frequently speculated about their ups and downs, the couple rarely shared personal details. Their silence stood out, especially given their high-profile romance. From their whirlwind love story to their 2006 wedding, everything about Keith and Nicole appeared almost storybook perfect. They seemed like an ideal match, talented, accomplished, and admired worldwide. However, as time passed, reports of tension and the pressure of demanding careers began to surface. Even so, they chose not to respond publicly. Aside from occasional interviews or brief social media glimpses, they kept their relationship largely out of the spotlight. As years went by, public curiosity intensified. Rumors of separation began circulating, surprising many loyal fans who believed their bond was unshakable. Although they had faced many challenges together, the true depth of their struggles remained private. For Keith, known for his openness on stage, remaining silent about his personal life became increasingly difficult. Eventually, he decided it was time to speak honestly about his journey. In sharing his story, Keith opened up about the weight of fame and the emotional strain of living under constant public attention. Behind the success and bright lights, there were personal battles that deeply affected him and his marriage. He admitted that maintaining a perfect public image while managing real-life challenges was overwhelming at times. His decision to speak was not about fueling headlines, but about healing and self-reflection. Throughout the years, Keith's struggles with addiction were publicly known. He sought treatment more than once, and the media often covered those moments. What many did not fully see was how those personal difficulties placed emotional pressure on his relationship. Nicole stood by him with strength and support, yet the situation inevitably created strain. Keith later explained that his silence was not avoidance, but an effort to protect his family's privacy during a fragile time. Nicole also became more reserved in public appearances during those years. When they attended events together, they appeared focused on each other, often detached from the surrounding noise. Even so, the pressures of their demanding careers made quiet moments rare. Though their affection remained visible, balancing two intense professional paths proved challenging. As speculation grew, media outlets created their own narratives. For Keith, speaking out was not simply about correcting rumors. It was about being truthful with himself and the people who had supported his career for years. In many ways, breaking his silence became part of his personal recovery. Over time, the pressures of touring, recording, filming, and public expectations began pulling them in different directions. Both Keith and Nicole were deeply committed to their careers, and maintaining balance became increasingly difficult. They worked hard to preserve their connection, but the distance created by schedules and responsibilities slowly widened. The decision to separate was not sudden. It came after many heartfelt conversations and careful thought. When news of their divorce became public, reactions were mixed. Some were surprised, while others believed it had been coming. For Keith, however, it was not about failure. It was about recognizing that sometimes two people grow in different ways and must allow each other space to continue that growth. For the first time in years, Keith allowed himself to be fully vulnerable. The end of his marriage gave him the opportunity to reflect deeply on his life and priorities. Rather than seeing it as an ending, he viewed it as the start of a new chapter, one focused on healing, creativity, and self-understanding. In the months that followed, he turned inward. Without the image of a perfect marriage to uphold, he rediscovered who he was beyond public expectations. It was not easy, but it was necessary. He realized that his value was not defined by headlines or relationship status, but by his character and resilience. Music once again became his anchor. Returning to the studio, he poured raw emotion into his songs. The pain he experienced transformed into creative inspiration. His newer work reflected honesty, vulnerability, and growth. Fans connected deeply with this authenticity, hearing themes of healing and renewal in every lyric. Beyond music, Keith also focused on reconnecting with family and close friends. He sought balance, understanding the importance of caring for himself and nurturing meaningful relationships. Through reflection, he learned that true peace comes from within, and that personal growth requires patience and grace. As for Nicole, she continued her own path with strength and professionalism. Though their marriage had ended, mutual respect remained. They both acknowledged the significance of the chapter they shared, even as they moved forward separately. With time, Keith embraced the lessons life had taught him. He accepted that imperfection is part of being human and that growth often follows hardship. The end of his marriage marked the beginning of a renewed sense of purpose. For the first time in many years, he felt aligned with who he truly was. Today, Keith Urban stands not only as a celebrated musician, but as someone who has faced challenges openly and grown through them. The years of silence, reflection, and emotional struggle shaped him profoundly. In the end, he found something lasting, a deeper connection to his music, his supporters, and most importantly, to himself. For Keith Urban, music has always been more than a profession. It has been an outlet, a lifeline, and a deeply personal form of expression. During the hardest seasons of his life, it became his therapy. As he began rebuilding his future, music turned into the steady ground beneath him. His return was not about reliving past glory or repeating earlier success. Instead, it was about embracing a more honest sound that reflected everything he had lived through. This new chapter in his artistry carried greater emotional depth. Fans who had followed his journey could hear the sincerity in his lyrics and the vulnerability in his voice. His songs were no longer just chart successes. They became messages of resilience, self-acceptance, and healing. Listeners connected not only with the melodies, but with the truth behind them. It was clear that Keith had reached a place of inner peace. Beyond music, Keith chose to use his platform with intention. He began speaking openly about his past struggles, encouraging others to seek support and speak honestly about their mental health. By sharing his experience with addiction and recovery, he offered hope to those facing similar challenges. He often reminded people that healing is not a straight line and that growth takes patience and courage. Creatively, he entered a phase of exploration. Collaborating with emerging artists and experimenting with fresh influences, he expanded his sound while staying true to himself. Yet what truly defined this stage of his career was not just innovation, but humility and compassion. He became known not only as a country music icon, but as someone who embodied perseverance and reinvention. In his personal life, Keith also rediscovered joy. Although his marriage to Nicole Kidman had ended, he gained clarity about what truly matters. He strengthened relationships with family and longtime friends, and he prioritized being present for his children. Simple, everyday moments brought him a deeper sense of fulfillment than public applause ever could. Looking back, Keith sees a life shaped by both triumph and hardship. From international fame to deeply personal challenges, every chapter contributed to the person he is today. At 57, he represents resilience and renewal. His story reminds people that setbacks do not define a life, the response to them does. One lesson he often shares is that healing takes time. It requires honesty, support, and the willingness to be vulnerable. He credits his family, friends, and loyal fans for standing by him during difficult periods, reminding him that no one truly walks alone. Even painful experiences, including the end of his marriage, helped him see relationships as partnerships built on mutual growth rather than expectation. Gratitude has also become central to his outlook. From his early days as a hopeful musician to his rise as a global star, Keith recognizes that success is shaped by opportunity, timing, and the encouragement of others. He remains thankful for the chance to share his music with audiences around the world. As he moves forward, he is focused on continued growth. Rather than repeating old formulas, he seeks new creative paths and challenges himself artistically. For Keith, the journey is ongoing. Each project offers another opportunity to evolve and remain authentic. His message to fans is simple yet powerful. Embrace change, take thoughtful risks, and never stop learning. Life brings unexpected turns, but resilience comes from continuing to move ahead. He encourages others to be patient with themselves and to find peace in progress rather than perfection. Today, Keith Urban stands not just as a celebrated performer, but as a storyteller who shares life's complexities through song. He has also taken an active role in mentoring younger musicians, offering guidance shaped by both success and setbacks. By supporting the next generation, he ensures his influence extends beyond his own career. At home, he focuses on balance. His children inspire him to lead with patience and strength. While he continues to tour and create, he remains grounded in what matters most. His life has shifted from the pressure of perfection to the freedom of self-acceptance. Ultimately, Keith Urban's legacy will be defined not only by awards or hit records, but by the resilience he demonstrated and the honesty he shared. His story is proof that even after difficult chapters, renewal is possible. And as he looks ahead, he does so with gratitude, confidence, and a spirit ready for whatever comes next.